From Kenmore to Hamburg, covering all of Western New York, this is News 4, your local news leader.
An upcoming documentary takes on the topic of racism, and you can see it right here in Buffalo.
The producers have announced the preview of the documentary titled It Is Up to Us. It's happening next week at the North Park Theater. Steve Rosenthal is one of those producers, and he joins us now. Steve, welcome. It is a pleasure to have you this afternoon.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so first, let's just begin. Tell us about this documentary and what it's about.
In 2020, a book came out by Heather McGhee called The Sum of Us, S-U-M of Us, and it was talking about how when we live in a racist society, we're all the losers. That obviously people who are the target of that are losers, but the rest of us aren't getting the fruits of brilliance that we would be getting if we lived in a more egalitarian society. And it's been 5 years that it's taken, and I was really fortunate to have the great actor Stephen McKinley Henderson join me about a year and a half ago, and the two of us shaped this, and just spending the hours and hours that we have together. He, for those of you who have seen him in dozens of movies, he's even nicer and more brilliant than people see them on screen.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the locations where you filmed this and also some of the people you're talking to.
Great. It's a mixture of people, national reputation and people that are important in Buffalo. Filmed on Martha's Vineyard, filmed in Oakland, California, and then here. One of the surprises of the documentary was that a lot of the people are movers and shakers here in Buffalo, and Buffalo repeatedly became a character in it. The movie is separated into 9 different chapters: housing and healthcare, and just taking people through a whole range of history that we've either forgotten or never knew, that is surprising. And the hope is that people will say, gee, I didn't know that. I'm going to think a little bit differently about things now. For example, most people have no idea what year the first anti-lynching law, federal anti-lynching law, was passed. And I won't give the answer away, but everyone says, oh, it was probably a lot later than you think. And the answer is much later.
You were talking about before, one of the surprises that came about while filming this. And, you mentioned how it took you 5 years, right? You've been working on this for 5 years now. Of course, the world, the country has come a long way in 5 years. 1 year could look very different, right? Did you find the conversations with all these individuals kind of changing or moving about different ways?
Great question. It's almost as though the people that we were talking to were talking about today rather than 2 years or 5 years ago, and that this is something, when you look at it, the sins of our founding 400 plus years ago, there's a straight through line to the problems that we're experiencing today. And one of the things that we're experiencing now that's happened many times in our history is a deliberate attempt to say that didn't happen, or it didn't happen like that. And when we have a view of history that's factually incorrect, that affects how we evaluate things today. And it's fascinating to learn things. I thought I knew a lot about this, and I read and do a lot of research, and it's amazing how much I didn't know even about my own personal story. And so it's something that I'm really looking forward, and Stephen's really looking forward to reaction of people who have seen it.
Studies have shown the data is out there, and it supports, of course, Buffalo, considered a segregated area as well in the country. Have you learned more about the issue of segregation and racism here?
Yeah, actually, Buffalo was a birth of the Niagara movement 125 years ago, and really near the end of the Underground Railroad. So we have this wonderful history going back even before that. Frederick Law Olmsted, who designed the parkways, and many people called this the most beautiful city in the world 120 years ago, that he designed the parkways and the parks to be as egalitarian as possible, to let everyone, the people that are working in downtown, from the very poorest to the very wealthiest, could enjoy beautiful park spaces and a whole range of things. And that's been eroded over years, and now part of the story is the Humboldt and the Buffalo Billion and all of that. That's intimately Buffalo, but it's also microcosm of what's happened in cities all over the country. And we have a very real chance to say, okay, what is Buffalo's going to be like 40, 60 years from now based on some of the decisions that are being made now. So it's we live in an amazing place and an amazing time.
So this documentary will not only be shown here, it'll be shown all over, but you are giving an exclusive preview, if you will, right at the North Park Theater. How special is that for you and Stephen? You know, you're from Buffalo, to now showing this project here to fellow Queen City residents before it goes everywhere else. How special is that?
It's just wonderful. The first of all, North Park has the best, the brand new laser projectors that I don't think anyone else in Western New York has. So it's going to be just the way it looked like in the studio, and it's wonderful to see how many people are going, oh, I'm going to go see that. And a friend of mine who worked in Hollywood for many years said, I like narrative films, you know, better than documentary films, because a narrative film only takes a year or two of your life, whereas a documentary takes much longer. So,
like 5.
So we can't wait to see the reaction of our city, our folks.
Wonderful.
We can't wait to see the reaction as well. Saturday, September 27th, it is Up to Us, the documentary. Steve Rosenthal, thank you so much for the time.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming
Best
on
of
in.
luck.
Pleasure.